Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Once again, double honors go out to the apostles. Just a second. Hold on. There we go. To the apostles, bishops, elders, all right, of Great Millstone who deserve double honors. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim out there on the highways and byways across the four corners of the globe, pushing this truth, trying to wake up the remaining hopeful elect. This is Naaman with the DC camp. Here once again to inform you of something that we've said for years. All right. This devil, a lot of you, well, this devil is going to do what a devil does. We all know that he's in the process now of trying to fulfill his goal of establishing this new world order. All right. And you're seeing this also known as the Great Reset. All right. And for all of you that thought, that it was a joke, it was a rumor, just the imaginations of some madmen out there on the highways and byways, like they have nothing better to do. All right. But no, this is a sign right here. It says a hard look at New York's controversial new approach to the homeless. Even Trump, while he was president, thought of doing something like what I'm about to describe. This is in New York. It says New York City Mayor Eric Adams gave the city's first responders, including its police force, a controversial new task this week to enforce a state law that allows them to involuntarily commit people experiencing a mental health crisis or issue. Think about what they're about to do. Think about it. First, let's look up something real quick. We're going to get subjective versus objective. Let's go to dictionary.com. It says, has someone ever asked for your objective opinion or said that something is entirely subjective? The words subjective and objective are used in all kinds of contexts, from journalism to science to grammar, and they're often discussed as opposites. But what do they actually mean? In most cases, it comes down to whether something is based on personal experience or on verifiable facts. But it can get confusing. An opinion or viewpoint can be said to be objective or subjective, depending on how it was formed. We're here to clear all of that up by explaining what each word means and how each should be used. So let's go into what subjective means. Generally speaking, subjective is used to describe something that exists in the mind of a person or that pertains to viewpoints of an individual person. Got that? So this is up to the individual, all right, to ascertain, say, is this thing real? Is it not? This person is just obeying orders. The person giving orders, all right, what is this? All right, is this just somebody's whim or is it facts? What is it? All right, that's subjective. All right, it's up to the imagination of an individual. All right, it's not necessarily facts. Sometimes subjective means about the same thing as personal. See, everyone's experience of an event is subjective because each person's circumstances and background are unique, leading to different interpretations. Exactly. All right, you can read the rest of this. I'm just going to the point. What does objective mean? All right, in most of its common uses, objective is contrasted with subjective, often as if it's the opposite. Objective most commonly means not influenced by an individual's personal viewpoint, unbiased, or at least attempting to be unbiased. It's often used to describe things like observations, decisions, or reports that are based on an unbiased analysis. Something that's truly objective has nothing to do with a person's own feelings or views. It just deals with facts. Just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. When someone says objectively speaking, they're indicating that they're going to give an unbiased assessment, not one based on their personal preferences. Journalists are trained to be as objective as possible when reporting, to leave their opinions out of it and just record and present the facts. This is called objectivity. What else does objective mean? Well, in grammar, the word objective is applied to words that function as objects, the recipients of actions. All right, got it? The reason I did this is because what these cops, the position that they're being put into, they're not psychiatrists or psychologists. Can anyone see how fucking what could go wrong? What could go wrong? And the reason I put subjective, hey, you've got a lot of cops up there that, let's just not say cops, let's just say people in general that have this certain mindset or bias towards homeless people. They must all have mental health issues, and that's not the case. Some people just, let's just look at from a worldly view, just have bad luck. They're not able to keep up. All right, that's another way to put it. Because let's face it, especially in New York, my goodness, the rent, it's so easy to be out on the streets. You know, it varies from wherever you live in the United States, but New York, come on. And now you're just going to scoop these people up. Now, granted, yeah. If you're going to do this, you should have did this decades ago. You know, if you want to present a certain image, which I think this is what is mainly the motivation behind this, you know, because America was, you know, in the eyes of the world, could do no wrong. And now people come over here and as tourists, they see all these homeless people around. I'm like, well, my goodness. America isn't as squeaky clean, and, you know, you got all these people living on the streets and you're supposed to be the richest nation on earth. What's going on here? Questions are starting to be asked. That image that people had around the world of the good old US of A is tarnished. All right. So now you're going to aggravate the situation even more. That's why I said, well, where's the liability going to be here? Because you think these people are just going to go willingly? A lot of these people are in the streets because they don't want to deal with the shelter system, because a lot of people feel safer out on the streets. Can you blame them? The usual red tape and anything to do with dealing with the government. Adams goes, and this is the mayor, said it was a myth that first responders can only involuntarily commit those who displayed an overt act. All right, meaning they dropped their drawers in the middle of the street, or, you know, pissed in somebody's car, or some wild shit like that. They may be suicidal, violent, or a danger to others. Instead, he said the law allowed first responders to involuntarily commit those who cannot meet their own basic human needs. A lower bar. Again, what can go wrong? Whew. The police department is still formulating a plan, and Adams, a former cop, said officers will get additional training and real-time support from mental health professionals. No, you need to have them ride along. All right. How are you going to train somebody that's not? This is fucking stupid. This is going to open the door wide for all kinds of legalities, and because them New York cops, them motherfuckers can get stupid. Even I know that. All right. Oh man, it says the move follows a raft of violence in New York City and also increasingly visible homeless encampments in New York and cities around the country. Well, that's a sign of the decline overall. What did you do? Last 2.5 years, motherfuckers couldn't work. Why? Because some bullshit illness. All right. Adams framed the policy as a way to help people who need it. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that just nice? It is not acceptable for us to see someone who clearly needs help and walk past, she said. I mean, all the more reason this place got to go. I mean, I'm reading this and advocates for the homeless oppose this. The city really needs to approach this more from a health and housing lens. No bullshit, no shit. Rather than focusing on involuntary removals and policing. It says Jacqueline Simone from the Coalition for the Homeless told CNN's Bryn Gingras. All right. Mental health professionals are questioning it. We are defaulting to an extreme that takes away basic human rights. See, another thing you have to consider, we just had a big 2.5-year experiment testing the waters, see how much they could get away with. And a lot of the American idiots, all right, jumped in head first. Well, it's for the public safety. I'll go ahead and take the shot. The jibby jab jab. Oh, and they said, well, this might be easier than now. We're going to deal with the homeless, the mentally ill, who, let's just face it, people, don't give a fuck about anyway. This is a segment of society that should be easy to do away with, get out of the public eye. Then we can have our way with them. See, I mean, I'm being, damn. It says, Kudish said New York should do more to help people before they need intervention. Let's go real quick. I done went 12, 13 minutes without any scriptures, but come on now. This is, you got to question people. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. All right. Under the heading, forgive the sinner. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. What is his, let's go into that, devices. That's G 3540, Noema, perception. That is his purpose. This devil is a devil. All right. What is his purpose, or by implication, the intellect, disposition, mind, thought, or device? All right. So now, the overall, let's just let it stay in New York. But trust me, others have been thinking about this. They're just the first to, if this goes through, to implement it. And the law has passed. I mean, it's law. They're just getting the police to enforce it. All right. Wow. I mean, just wow. See, this is why the scriptures also say, because, people probably heard this and they said, yeah, right, whatever. Not realizing, no, this is a go on this. All right. And then you're going to see all kinds of shit and, homeless people getting, I was going to say, what are those things they have now? I was going to say billy club, but nightsticks or the expandable batons, and they just going to be going crazy on motherfuckers. All right, because nobody just wants to say, hey, get your shit. They're gonna throw all this shit away, and you come with us. Say what? Why? They hadn't committed a crime per se. They're talking about not just singling out those that This is why I said this is really definitions for subjective and objective. All right, and then you're trying to train someone that has no experience in mental health just to give them a crash course. This is bullshit. And now, like I said, it leaves the door open for, talking about abuse. All right, it says, Kudish said New York should do more to help people before they need intervention. The city has the power to provide on-site treatment, as well as treatment in homeless shelters or supported housing, but has chosen not to. I wonder why. Police are worried it puts them in a precarious position. No shit. As soon as they want to resist, now where does the liability form on the uniformed officer? Retired NYPD Detective Andrew Burchard told Gingras. I talked to Ryan McBain, a policy researcher at the Rand Corporation, all these think tanks, who studies how government policies can reach vulnerable populations, including those experiencing both mental illness and housing insecurity. And it says fuel for escalation. McBain, which is something I already said, right? McBain argued Adams' move is well-intentioned. Oh, there you go. You know that saying, the road to hell is paved with those, It says it's well-intentioned but misguided. First of all, because police interactions with people experiencing serious mental health issues is a fuel for escalation. How many people have died as a result of this? Because police are not trained for this. Yes, they wear many hats as a police officer. But this is something you have to be a professional in. All right, not a layman. All right, which is what they're going to be put out there to do. Oh, man. It's something like 1 in 4 people who are shot by a police officer are people with significant. See? When I looked to confirm that 25% figure, I found this in a 2015 Washington Post investigation. That's here locally. If you stop and think about it, it makes sense, right? People who are disoriented or having atypical thoughts, they're not in a position oftentimes to comply collaboratively with a police officer. And given the fact that police officers are carrying weapons, you have sort of a recipe for bad outcomes. What I said at the onset of this video. Man, what can go wrong? There's evidence, he said, that actually deploying trained mental health professionals alongside police officers would be more effective. Did I not actually hint at that? In New York, first responders will get additional training and have access to a hotline with mental health professionals. It's not the same as some being on the scene. All right? There probably aren't enough psychiatric beds. Another issue is more systemic and has to do with how the U.S. deals with chronic and serious mental illness. From a system of large institutional asylums that were shuttered in the 60s and 70s to a flawed system focused on private insurance and community-based mental health centers. Hey, it's all about that money, right? Currently, there aren't enough beds for psychiatric patients. We don't need giant asylums where the conditions are inappropriate, but we do need larger facilities with more beds that can provide the type of care that the patients really need when they have more serious mental health issues. This is the wrong time, all right, for stuff like this. And maybe this is their plan. Who knows? I mean, think of the amount of abuse that's going to be or that, I'm just going to say that can happen. Like, wink, wink. Woo. More people die, These people off the streets. Again, who knows? organ donors. I mean, you're dealing with Edomites here. Anything's possible. This is the wicked we're dealing with. Malachi chapter 1, verses 1 through 4. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given in the hands of the wicked. All right? These are the people that rule. It goes on to say more holistic solutions. More permanent supportive housing is required for people who experience both mental health issues and homelessness. But that kind of solution, the public providing housing alternatives for people who cannot provide for themselves, because everyone's feeling the pinch now, all right? That's why I was going to go into this is the wrong time for something like this to happen, but it's also the right time if you're on the other side of this, because now more so than ever, who wants to care about people like this? And like I say, this is ripe for abuse. But we get the segment of people out the way and out of view. All right, it says the public providing housing alternatives for people who cannot provide for themselves can be expensive and politically difficult. Salaki. It's a sentiment echoed by Dennis Culhane, a professor of social policy at the University of Pennsylvania, who appeared on AC 360 on Thursday. That is the fundamental problem here. You cannot actively and effectively treat people without having them in a place where they can take care of themselves. McBain said that in the U.S. health system, which is geared around insurance paying for services, mental health is not treated on par with physical health. In the best of all possible worlds, you have a continuum of care for addressing people's mental health needs, he said. And that continuum would begin with high-quality outpatient services that private insurers pay for at parity with physical health conditions. I think until you see the system try to address these issues in a holistic way, these issues are going to continue to persist, he said, arguing. Mayor Adams is proposing putting a Band-Aid on something for which you really need sutures. Damn. Couldn't say it any better. All right. Like I said, this is the wrong time. Now, all of a sudden, and we know this is some bullshit, all right? They don't intend to help these people. They just want to get them out the way. Who knows what's kind of abuse if they open up some centers, what's going to go on behind closed doors. Who knows if they'll even be seen again. Hey, because you're dealing with some sick fucks, all right? At the beginning of the last century, when it came to mental illness, you saw all kinds of abuses. Hey, look it up, all right? When it came to mental health issues, all right? All the experimentation. Oh, man. Yeah, so this devil's going down. You know, Revelation 12 and 12, we always, use. But indeed, this devil knows he got but a short time. All right? So he's moving, trying to get things done. And woe be to whoever's in his way. All right? Because he wants to maintain his rulership. So this is a really, really fucked up time that we're coming into. I always put it like this, and then I'll close. We know through the pioneer and settlement phases since the time of Columbus, all the atrocities that were committed when this devil was trying to establish himself. How much more, and this is something people don't consider, there's a reason Daniel 12 and 1 is in the scriptures. All right, there's other scriptures. Hell, Amos 5 and 18. Others like it, talking about Joel 2nd chapter, Isaiah 13th chapter, Isaiah 34th chapter. So like Isaiah 63rd chapter, Ezekiel 25th chapter. All these things, it's not looking good because this devil knows what's going on. All right, Isaiah 14th chapter, Ezekiel 28th chapter. All right. Second Thessalonians, second chapter, which is we're in now, because this devil is being exposed for who and what he really is. All right. Point being, some really fucked up shit, all right, is getting ready to happen. So this is why we encourage our people who are out here on the highways and byways, please wake up. But are they? Nah. A vast majority of them are going to still choose to remain, ignorant. Scripture for that. In Corinthians, Revelation, 22nd chapter and 11, let the ignorant be ignorant, and for a very, very rude awakening. Hey, so with that, once again, this has been, wow, they actually are going to go through with this.